Speaking of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
what going on out here in these hot topic streets, honey?
Yes, well, we
I hear the
do
people
have
talking.
topics out. We got to talk about Kendrick Lamar and his album, child. I did want
Oh,
to talk about this, even though it might be a little bit late in the game because it's been like a good week since the album came out. I still wanted to put my little 2 cents into it. Okay, so
mhm.
after the 5-year break, Kendrick Lamar dropped his highly anticipated Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers. Look, it's been a minute. Not saying that I was waiting on Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, he's the type of person, okay, like I got some free time. Let me just sit down and really just like listening and figure out what the hell he talking about. Cause it's a little, he's one of the artists that's kind of like hard to understand. You got to look at the lyrics and then look at it again and just like watch these people, or from that's how I consume his music. It's just like I have to watch like different videos of people just like talking about it and stuff like that. So, okay. Anyway, the problem is there's this song that's called Aunties Diaries that has started a lot of discourse. Okay. In the song, he recalls his misunderstanding with his uncle's queerness as a child. Then he shifts to the present day and explains how his ideologies and affirms his uncle's gender while describing all the things he looked up for, basically realizing that, the error in his ways before he had a homophobic or transphobic past, um,
Mhm.
which was good. Like, this shows growth. What people are taken back by, though, is his delivery. Okay, in the beginning of the song, he misgenders his now uncle. He was talking about his cousin, who was a trans woman, but using her dead name. And he repeatedly used the F slur throughout the song. So a lot of people are saying, like, could he convey this in a different way? Without 10 different F slurs, not 10 different, but 10 F slurs and misgendering and using dead names. I feel like in a way he was kind of using like this was going to grab attention, and he used the slurs or whatever in whatever context it was, because a lot of straight people will be like, oh, but well, you got to think about the context. He didn't mean it like that. Well, of course, we understand the context, but I still feel like in any context, you shouldn't be saying the F word if you're not. You get what I'm saying? You're a straight man. But I don't know. It was weird. It's weird. Did you hear about this?
I think I read something about it. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I haven't. I mean, I'm gonna go back and listen to the full album, and it's so crazy too because like I like Kendrick Lamar,
Mm-hmm.
I like his delivery. Um, so I'm pretty sure I'll have a more informed opinion after listening to the album and sitting in it. But from what I
Mm-hmm.
read about the song, about that particular song anyway, it was um, him being able to recall, his aunt and how he handled her transition into being
Mm-hmm.
his uncle now. And also Demetrius, which is a fictional character from his discography, transitioning into a woman. So
Mm-hmm.
how he experienced those things. Talking about how his uncles were jealous of, the new uncle because they get more women than them, and like they didn't understand what was going on. And it makes me think of like when we were kids and we would see queer people, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
looking back, I was like, oh, the trans people have always been here. You just didn't know, we didn't know what to call them.
Yeah.
They were just, or they weren't affirming their agendas. They were just, we knew they just looked different than what we consider to be normal women. Like the ones like, oh, she looks like a man,
Mm-hmm.
right? As a kid, it's like, she look like a man. Didn't really understand what it is, but you also grow to recognize like, oh, okay, well that's who they are. They're different as kids. Same thing with trans women. I think it's like, oh, that's a pretty man.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can't tell, it's like it's a woman. It's not a thing. But growing up in certain places, when you're made to think that something is wrong with that person, or
Yeah.
when you are part of a society that um, that won't say is I'm say obsessed, obsessed with otherizing people,
Mm-hmm.
you can probably fall into those attitudes. And I think Kendrick was using that particular song to address how he played a role in it, and also to kind of like help shape the narrative or start the conversations like we're having like right now. so that we can be better. Now, when it comes to the F word, I think I said this on the show before. Listen, words are words. Words only have power if you give them power.
Yeah.
Don't say it to me. Like if you like, and that's another thing too. Like if you're saying it to me in a derogatory way, in a way to disrespect me, then I may pop you. But words only have power when you give them power.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be like my girl say, yeah, it's a nasty word. Like nigga's a nasty word.
Yeah.
But I love that word. I love it because I can take I'm taking power over it, and I know the context in which I'm using it.
Mm-hmm.
And though it may be offensive to others, um, you know, if my intention is not to offend you, I can apologize. Like, oh, I didn't mean to offend you or anything like that. So we should stop using that word. Don't tell me how to talk. Don't tell me what to say. I'm gonna use whatever word I want to. If I want to make up my own word, I'm gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been artists who actually are currently still transphobic and homophobic that use that word, and you rarely see as much outrage. So I think that him using it in his story and just kind of like painting the narrative, I think that it was the appropriate context in which to use the word. Everything's contextual. But like I said, once I hear the album,
he said it in a sense of like, F word, F word, F word. We was too young to understand, or we was too immature, or whatever, this, that, and the third. But then there was another time when he said it, and it had something to do with the same defect of basically him equating the F word to the N word. It means it's the same
the
thing.
N-word.
And people were
It's
referencing
the N-word.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
basically. But they were referencing the time when these white people were saying the N-word at his concert. He was uncomfortable. So so basically saying it's bad in any context, but it's just like, yeah, but you're saying it though. Like, shouldn't the F word, shouldn't it count for you too?
Right, because
In
you're
any
not one of us.
context, it should not be said. And I have a problem also, not really with Kendrick Lamar, because we know it didn't come from a ill intent. We know that. It's two straight people that's like, well, you shouldn't feel no way about this. You shouldn't be offended by this. He's actually saying that. Like, don't tell me how to feel about it. Like, you as a straight person, do not tell me how to feel about that. So that's what I didn't like, the discourse behind it. You get what I'm saying? Not really much Kendrick, but it's just like the fans, the straight people, in a sense. It's just like, girl, no, I'm gonna feel a way about it if I happen to not be offended. But if I was, bitch, you ain't gonna tell me what I can and cannot be offended by or uncomfortable by.
Right. You're right. You can be uncomfortable. And then there are so many other ways that you can occupy your time by listening to something else. I think at this point in the game, I think people just need to be real with themselves. Everything is optional. Everything is opt-in at this point. Everything that we take in is at our fingertips and based off of our own choices. So if you don't like something, there are so many different directions you can go to find whatever it is that you need. I think the problem now is that people are bucking so hard for something that may be unattainable, where we're creating these moments of resistance where we could easily just appreciate something and move on to something else, right? Everything is political, everything is controversial. I do believe that identity politics, especially right now, especially all this shit going on with like Roe versus Wade and stuff like that in our country, and like trans rights and all of these things, right? If people just decided individually to like pursue what makes you happy, occupy spaces that you can learn from, and let life pass through you without letting things stick to you, right? The people that get offended and like literally get further. I'm looking at these, social media warriors. I'm like, y'all are really stuck on this. Like, people will go and like argue with people for like an hour, like da 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 da. And it's like, this is really stuck on you. You should go outside,
hug some grass.
Yeah, go get some sunlight. Let the
Well, I mean,
wind
just don't
blow
listen
in
to
your
that song
nose.
in particular too, because
Or do something right.
he had a lot of good other songs on there too. Don't get me confused. Like,
Yeah.
I love I got a couple on here. Like, I love Father Time, which was interesting because he talks about, having daddy issues, and you never hear men talk about that, and basically telling the men, let up off the women, because there's clearly a sex war here that's going on. But I see it on TikTok and stuff like that. Oh, they not trying to protect black men, or black women, this, that, and the third. Like y'all are fighting each other, and he's basically saying, like, telling the fellas, let up on the women, which was a good message. I also like Die Hard and a couple other songs on there too. Like you said, you got the power to turn it off, and Especially now with streaming, you ain't got to listen to everything. You can just listen to the songs that you like, and
Yeah,
listen to the ones that you don't like.
yeah. Let life be full of rainbows and roses.
I mean, that's
Therapy,
what Lamar does anyway. Is he's very,
therapy.
a lot of his stuff is thought provoking, and
Yeah, it's good
it
though.
makes you
That's
think.
art. That's what art is supposed to do.
Yeah,
That is what art is supposed to do.
it's supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be,
I don't say it has to be messy, but it's supposed
not
to be
messy
thought
in the sense like,
provoking.
yeah.
I think we've gotten so comfortable with the mind numbing stuff, right? When you have been inundated with the Migos or like a Blueface and like all this other stuff that's been in the space for the last 5 years, where everything is like literally like dumb and you're getting it like every 15 seconds. There's something else that's kind of like doesn't require any use of your brain cells, doesn't require any like critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like an artist like Kendrick Lamar becomes harder to digest. An artist like Andre 3000 becomes harder to digest. An artist like Conscious becomes harder to digest. And I think that is that's something that we should be talking about is how the industry has moved, and like there's a pattern. There's a lot of shit going on in the world that hip hop used to tell the story. Like hip hop used to tell like what's going on, right? And if you look around, you think about the artists we have now. Most of them are all talking about the same thing, and it's nothing.
It's nothing. It's not long lasting. It's you don't
like. It's like a yeah. So I mean, I can't wait. I'm gonna drop mine too. I told y'all when I drop my album is gonna be trash. Okay, and I want y'all to just play my trash over and over and over and over again, and then watch my interviews. Because I feel like there's a shift that needs to happen, and I feel like artists like Kendrick Lamar and a few others who are emerging will be able to bring that shift so that we're actually having real conversations, like, and actually progressing.
I felt like it used to be a happy medium. Like you had your bird music, and then you had like music that you would you sit down and think about, and that's why I like artists also. Not to be a barb child, always bringing up Nicki, but like Nicki kind of gave us both of that. You know what I'm saying? Like there was music that you could sit there and be like, okay, this is cute little bop. I can just sit there and shake my ass to, or like rap to, or whatever. But then she'll make some music that make you ooh. Now I'm over here looking at lines that she said way back when. I'm like, she said that? She meant that? What? It's we don't see it no more. It's I think because music has changed, and I don't want to blame TikTok because TikTok, I'm not trying to say TikTok is ruining music.
Nope,
but your streams go up when your song is trending. And the only way to do that is to try to make some stupid little sound bite that's gonna get everyone dancing to it, and you're not caring about the lyrics. Like Nicki said, you become faceless because they only know that one song. Like, I'm pretty sure that girl that was like, I ain't wish I had a time machine is probably a really good artist, but I don't even know who you are.
Money Long.
That's her name? Okay.
Money Long. Miss Hours and Hours. Yours, mine, ours. I can do this. That's her song too.
Oh, okay.
That's all. See, you know her, you just don't know her.
Well, maybe it's the consumer's fault. We're not seeking out the music.
Right. We just need that 15 seconds from my real child. Thank you, girl. I'm waiting for that to be a genre. TikTok artist on Billboard, where you literally just have to drop 30 seconds of a song. I have a whole album.
I mean, my mother said this a long time ago. He said soon people are gonna be like screaming, like literally screaming, and that's the song.
Beep 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 boop boop. Boop. I'm waiting for the tones and the.
Ciao.
I'm gonna make a song with just one word.
Oh Lord, it's critically acclaimed. Oh my goodness, how dare he?
I'm like, thank you very much. I thought long and hard about this song. Writing this took me about 8 years. It's like, but bitch, it was just one word over and over. Yeah, choosing a word. Woo.
And watch the fans be like, oh my goodness, like it's a deeper meaning. They're talking about the fabric of our nation. I'm like, oh.
And I'd be like this. Yes, I am. Yes. Where's my Pulitzer? Where's my Nobel Peace Prize? I need my Grammy, a Tony, all the things. But no, I don't know, man. I'm mad that I haven't listened to the album yet. I remember when I saw the video though. You saw the video for
The one where he was like changing all his faces and stuff like that.
Yeah. For what's the name of the call again?
I don't know what song that was. Hold
See,
on,
I
let me
gotta
see.
stop drinking.
Oh, we all got
My brain
that.
be working this early in the morning.
Hold on, what song was that? It's the Heart Part 5.
Yeah, Hard Part 5.
Mm-hmm.
At first I thought something was wrong with me. I was like, is that OJ? I
I
was like,
was like, is that Jesse? Like, what's going on?
oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
Mm-hmm.
the Will Smith one. I was just like, oh man, oh, look at Will. It's like,
Oh,
Will
poor
actually kind of
Will.
look good with hair and a little beard. Okay, well, shit. Okay. But yeah, I enjoyed that song. I like his artistry. I think I like him. I like him because he's different, and I think he holds space for other artists that can deliver strong and thought provoking messages, and it makes me kind of miss the J. Cole's a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
now
J. Cole will see where he's at, but anyway.
everybody's a little something now. Everybody's a little blah blah
Little
blah,
something
and they
new.
all sound like they're on drugs.
Talking about that acid and all that. Well, look, I mean, somebody
They
probably
dropping acid now. That's what the kids dropping acid.
now they dropping acid. No, I mean,
Oh, wait
well,
a minute. Oh
whatever drugs they
gosh.
taking now, child.
My lord, today.
Anyway, let's move on.